Right. Hey, welcome everyone to this week's town hall. Thank you for joining us here. Today we will be going over our weekly updates, and we have a new guest today. This will be Pirate Chain, who is a Komodo ecosystem project, and we have many members in the pirate community who will be going over their reasons for liking Pirate Chain and the benefits of privacy use in blockchain. So first, let's go over the updates for the week. So this week, updates we have here is the next KDF release remains on target. We should be wrapping it up here by this weekend. We've discovered, we've been continuing working on the peer-to-peer network issues and maker connection issues. There was an issue with a couple of the fixes that led to a network partitioning and some storm messages. Omar is currently fixing those bugs, and then we'll continue on the trading protocol upgrade fixes that are required for the 2.6 release. Yasin has implemented Taproot signing. It's continuing work on other Taproot functionality. Omar requested input from CA regarding the priority of this work, and they are figuring out if it makes sense to include in this release, or should we wait for an upcoming release. Dibsy is working on account abstraction, so this will be a pretty big upgrade once it goes live. We are looking at several different possible providers to do a testing of the functionality first before we end up launching our own paymasters. What this will enable is users to be able to pay with their native EVM tokens, as opposed to having to have the gas necessary to do an atomic swap. So this will be a huge UX improvement. Solana work is currently ongoing with the wallet functionality wrapping up. So that should be seen here soon as well. This week has been a lot of testing regarding the Pirate web app integration. Most of the initial issues were resolved this week. However, we're still going through making sure everything is okay. There was some bugs in the transaction history display that we're figuring out, and we hope to have a pull request ready here by tomorrow. So we should be, we're getting ever closer to getting the actual pirate on the web app, which will be very beneficial. Decker has been focusing on finding bugs with the desktop wallets. I see there was one recently brought up by the community regarding a missing dependency that is for Windows desktops. We also found something similar with Mac OS builds, where the Mac OS didn't account for having two architectures, namely what the architecture needed for the Flutter secure storage. So these are currently being fixed and should be incorporated in the following 9.3 release. This is why we haven't gone forward with 9.2 release on the website, and why it's just been accessible via the GitHub. It has been kind of janky, so we are just waiting for 9.3 to fully update everything. Let's see here. So we are planning a trading competition here in the coming months or so. I've begun to reach out to different communities. Reached out to Digibyte. We'll be bringing this up to Dash here as well, Firo, a bunch of others. And we'll be doing prizes, including $1,000 in the community currency that wins. Right now, we're building the leaderboards for this, and we'll make an announcement to the community once it's ready of the rules and so on for it. So our initial market makers with Gate Street and DWF Labs have been onboarded, and you can see their liquidity across a couple different pairs. namely like the Bitcoin and stablecoin pairs. However, if the community feels that these pairs aren't necessarily reflective of what is wanted for trading, let us know, and we can have them shift to covering other pairs on the DEX that might be more, might generate more volume. We've identified some volume tracking discrepancies between, say, DEX stats and other sites like CoinPaprika and CoinGecko. We'll be working that out. Pirate swaps are missing from all the tracking sites. However, there's kind of a split between how to deal with this because we know Pirate wants to remain private, but it would also be good to show the volume that occurs on the Pirate chain swaps that do occur. We have identified at least several 100,000 Pirate that were swapped, which shows a great interest in the Pirate community, and it's also one of the reasons why we're working hard to get the Pirate web app integration done. Wallet Connect development has been temporarily shelved, so we've identified kind of a big UX constraint with it. We got it to work. However, it requires everyone signing at each step of the atomic swap. We can abstract this away, but it will require a good bit of work, and there's more pressing things to do with the DEX than this integration. So for the time being, probably till Q1 of next year, we're going to wait on completing that task. Let's see. Trang's working on wallet landing pages as well. So this is one of the things that we've in the marketing side have identified as a way to kind of leverage search engines to generate some more traffic and hopefully bring more users our way by creating different wallet landing pages amongst different coins that are implemented in the Komodo wallet. That way, when someone searches for, say, like Shiba Coin wallet, that our site will pop up and hopefully direct users to use Komodo wallet for their Shiba Coin and so on for all the different coins that we support. On the PR side, several different media hit pieces went out. Akadan was quoted in Decrypt magazine regarding Maxi Doge and the crypto grandfather extortion scheme coverage. We were also covered in commentary regarding the NVIDIA Intel alliance, as well as AI adoption in crypto and crypto news. We have an interview with Crypto News coming up soon. Actually, it's today, right? Might just actually happen. So hopefully that'll be released out soon. We will share that once that's done. We've also, once our trading campaign is fully fleshed out, we have secured an agreement with the blockchain reporter to spread the word about this to generate some more traffic as well. Yes, so that is the main updates for the week. Lutz, do you want to go over the updates on the grassroots marketing side?
Yes, sir. So guys, the biggest agenda is getting people in Komodo again. Over time, Komodo has lost uh, most of their grassroots, right? But we're all still here. We're just kind of spread out all over the place. So the goal with these shows that we do here now every week is to bring everybody back together, and we all need to be friends again because that's the only way we're going to win against the tyranny happening. Like, they want us to divide, and so that we don't talk to each other, right? But the fact is that when me and Polly get together and some other people get together, things happen, right? And that's what they don't want to happen. So we need to get everybody into Komodo's Discord, and we need to everybody talking to each other. You see that this is not a stage. Uh, that means that at any point in time, if you got questions, when somebody, when Polly says it's time for question Q&A, come up and ask real questions. We need you to ask real questions, not for us. We need to educate you, right? We want you to learn better, right? We don't want you to learn from those degens out there that are telling you to buy stupid coins. If you don't understand why crypto was created to begin with, then all you're doing is gambling. So that's why you need to come here and you need to understand what we understood 15 years ago. And that's that this crypto stuff is supposed to free us. Supposed to free us from banks and free us from tyrannical systems and tyrannical currencies that have never ending inflation. But people have forgotten that. Not that they've forgotten, these new people coming in, they just don't know. Right? You guys don't know. So come here and start talking and asking questions. All right. So far everything's been great. These meetings are getting bigger and bigger every week. I love it. We're going to keep it going. We're going to start expanding into YouTube, and hopefully, I could get the stream working on X Spaces as well. All right. So if you guys want to re-listen to any of these shows, we do have a YouTube, and I'll post it here. It's called Komodo Exchange Live, right? And there's bigger plans for that as I start working in a 24-hour crypto radio broadcast. And that will use things like Icecast and share something like that. There's old school radio type stations out there that still be used, and to bring in a lot more random people that don't know anything about crypto. And once that's set up, you guys can listen to these shows all the time. We'll have live streams, and they're all going to be done here within Discord. So if you want to be part of the conversation, I suggest you get people in this Discord. And that's it. Main priority is to get more people in Komodo, guys, because Komodo is what's going to fight the tyranny out there. We can't fight this with transparent coins. Those coins you're investing in, Solana, Trump coin, Fart coin, they're not going to help your children. They're not going to help the goal of what crypto is supposed to do. Right? Only Komodo and Pirate are doing that at this point. Pirate is the last hope for privacy chains. Right? Once Monero is gone, that's it. There's only Pirate left. Right? You guys need to understand that. Right? And then Komodo, atomic swap DEX, right? Decentralized exchange. Right? It's an exchange. Nevertheless, it's still an exchange. And that's why they just got kicked off of finance or whatever the hell centralized exchange it was on, right? Which, in my opinion, is a good thing. But the tyranny is there. Okay, so you see that they kicked off Firo, they kicked off Ergo, and they kicked off Komodo all at the same time. And they told them that it was because of volume issues, which wasn't the truth. And so what was the lie for? Okay, now let's think about the lie. Why did they lie? It's because they're cutting off the head of the snake before it could attack them, right? But the problem is in crypto and open source is that when you cut that snake's head, 10 more snakes heads will appear. Because that's what open source is. Like 10 more people will fork it. Okay, so you can't kill us like that. Once you understand the power of Komodo's exchange, and this is it, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, Komodo provides an exchange that allows every coin to put an exchange inside their wallet. Okay. Once they all put Komodo inside their wallet, they all share the market. They all share the liquidity. It's the liquidity. More coins they add on will just add more liquidity because they all share the order books. Get it? So it's truly decentralized liquidity. That means that we don't need centralized exchanges anymore. Once you wrap your head around that, we don't need them anymore because they will all connect in a decentralized way using Komodo's exchange. And so once you understand, so you can go to Komodo and use Komodo's wallet, but keep in mind the open source nature of Komodo will bring a level of freedom for exchanges that you have never seen before. You've never seen it because you weren't around that long, right? I've seen it 15 years ago. The people that were here that long, crypto was wild and free back then. Now, how do we get back to those days, guys, where tyrants are not controlling us? Komodo. Komodo is the only way we're going to exchange without permission, right? Trust us. Okay, so that's why we're here. Okay, so Komodo and Pirate are the only two. They should be moving forward. You should be learning it at least. Learn why it's better. Learn why it has an advantage over their competitions. Okay, Komodo is trustless. It uses atomic swaps. There's no permissions needed. It's P2P. Pirate. It's a level ahead of Monero. It uses ZK. It has the highest anonymity set. Okay? It has an anonymity set that has no ceiling, which means that even though Monero increases its anonymity set to whatever the hell, 10 million, it's still static, and at some point that will be low again. Okay, and and Pirate will surpass them over time because the more people that use Pirate, the higher its anonymity set gets, which means it just gets stronger the more people that use it. And I could get behind something like that. I don't know about you, but I could get behind technology like that. Right? A technology where the more people that use it, the stronger it gets. Kind of like a pure mesh network, right? The more mesh nodes you have on a mesh network, the better it works. The more full nodes it has, right? Because it has more access points. It has more routes, right? It becomes a stronger, more full tolerant setup. And so get everybody you know in here, guys. We're willing to teach you. I'm not charging you a damn thing. I'm going to teach you 15 years of my experience, and Polly is here to do the same. And many other people on the team want to teach you. All right, so come here every week, bring your friends, and ask questions.
Right, thank you, Lutz. So yeah, now I guess we will segue here into a discussion with Pirate Chain. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yes,
which should
sir.
I introduce first or Lutz. So
Well, that's okay.
uh,
I got some questions for you. I am Pirate Chain, guys. You know that. I've been repping Pirate Chain for a long, long, long time. So, but I do want you guys to know that Polly can explain the technology way better than I can. That's why I like to bring him on interviews with him. And then we got a lot of devs in here and a lot of fans of Pirate in here that are going to come up. And I want you guys to tell us why you love Pirate and what brought you to the Pirate. Give me your story. Right? And I would love to hear all of your stories because uh, we could use that. You know, not being transparent with you, we could cut those out and we could use that, to put out there on socials and such, so that other people understand why we love pirates so much. So, but Polly is a great, great with the technicals, and let's get started, bro. Let's get started. I got some questions for you, and and these are going to be very basic, guys, because keep in mind we have a lot of new people in the environment. Right? Nobody knows what we know. We kind of expect them to know it, but it's you can't. Right? They just got here. They don't even know what an NFT is. Right? You gotta. They don't know what a layer two is. They don't get it. Right? They don't understand. They're just throwing their money at random shit. That's the problem. Right? So Polly, first off, we got Monero. Right? Monero at the moment is getting attacked, reorged. It's got some other issues. Can you just give me the pros and cons as to why ZK Snarks is stronger than ring signatures, ring CT? Like, what's the difference, and why would we favor ZK Snarks over ring signatures?
oh sure. So the ZK Snarks, which was created by the Zcash team, is a much superior form of privacy than you find with ring signatures. So ring signatures, how they operate is they take several different possible public keys and attach them to form, as in the name, a ring that it gives plausible deniability to who the sender of a transaction actually is. The limitation of this is that you can only, for each additional key added to the ring, that increases the size of the transaction. So this limits the amount of potential senders that could have sent that specific transaction. So where how this differs from ZK Snarks is that the ZK Snarks that because the senders could actually be any of the possible shielded transactions that have happened. The anonymity set is as large as the possible outputs that are in the system. So does not limit the transaction size. The anonymity is not limited by the size of the transaction. So this makes ZK Snarks a much more uh, efficient and better overall privacy scheme for cryptos.
The way I look at it, and I don't know if you would agree that it's fair to say, but with Monero, you're trying to hide. And with Pirate, there's no reason to even try to hide. So with a Monero address, things could be traced. When you have a Pirate address, you're chilling. There's nothing to be traced. There's no one's going to try to trace it. And so that's the caveat, and that's why people tell you to always use new Monero addresses all the time, all the time, all the time, right? Because yeah, there's that possibility of you know, unobfuscating the chain, and considering that there's over 2,000 Monero nodes in the District of Columbia. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's always that chance that they're going to try to trace your Monero transaction, and if you don't believe that's true, I mean, there's literally companies out there called CipherTrace charging $15,000 to do that. As long as you sign their non-disclosure agreement over there, or whatever. So,
Yeah,
we've
so
taken.
additional, oh, I just want to add on to that. Additionally, one of the ways that they try to reduce the anonymity of Monero transactions is by purposefully sending out many different small transactions and hoping that those small transactions get included into the ring. That way, they can lower the amount of possibilities of who the real sender is. So currently, I believe it's 14 different possibilities that you have with a Monero transaction. So if they sent out, say, millions of these small little dust transactions everywhere, all with different, keys attached to them, they know when those are included in another ring signature that appears. Now, this is very different than what happens with a ZK snarks chain, which actually them trying to do such attack actually increases the anonymity of the potential, the sender and receiver. And in Pyre's case, there's less to even go off of. Where in the case of Zcash, due to how you go in and out of their shielded pool, they have some correlation techniques that can, it weakens anonymity. They have correlation techniques that can help identify people based off of their behaviors. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that when someone does a dusting attack or some sort of spam attack on Monero, especially if they keep all the keys that they sent out from, they can use it to further de-anonymize the potential transactions that have happened, and where in ZK Snark Chain, specifically Pirate, it actually increases, makes it stronger.
Question for the
Yes.
question, Paulie. So, assuming all that's going on with Monero at the moment and recently, take away all that, Monero running at its best with the ring signature technology, there's still risk. Every transaction they put out the real data, and the ring signature technology just comes with unnecessary risks when we have pirate chains technology. Is that right?
Yes, at least for how it is now. They are releasing something called FCMP++, which might change how things actually work. But as far as I know, it's still under testing. But yes, so for now, how Monero operates, it's very, in terms of privacy, is very weak compared to Firechain's privacy. Now, I do want to clarify something though, that their recent spat with Cubic and the selfish mining that Cubic's been doing to essentially parasite off of Monero does not affect Monero's privacy, directly at least. So I just want to make sure those two issues aren't conflated. The 51% attack situation, or selfish mining situation, I guess more appropriately, that's happening, is not the privacy issue with Monero. The privacy issue with Monero is that its anonymity set is too small, and there's ways to chip away at it.
I think my next question is related, brother. We've been suffering in Pirate with people saying, oh, it doesn't have any ASIC resistance, right? Pirate uses ASICs. How does this affect the decentralization? How does ASICs, affect the decentralization and security of Pirate? It looks today like it's a godsend that we have ASICs, because if we were anything like Monero, we'd be getting attacked as well.
Yeah, so I mean, there's arguments on both sides. So the arguments that like Monero maxis use, that everyone can contribute with a CPU, so decentralizes things out. But the flip side of that is that everyone has a CPU, and it's a lot easier to rent a CPU than it is to find a ASIC miner to rent. Up until a certain point, there are obviously places like NiceHash and Mining Grid Rentals where you can rent, ASIC hashing, to accomplish a similar type of thing. But it's, you know, almost by definition a lot less than CPU, because you can quite easily rent CPU power. Additionally, with the Monero mining, there's a lot of unscrupulous actors who use botnets. There's certain software that is out there that some people put on web pages and stuff that basically runs some code in the background and hijacks their browser to aid in Monero mining. Where this, I mean, technically, I guess it could be done for Zcash, but or for Equihash algorithm as well, but due to the availability of ASICs out there, the amount of hash rate that they actually get from it proportionally is very small. So that type of vector is not an issue. On the flip side, for Equihash ASICs, the main argument against them from say the Monero community or others is that only really certain players can actually manufacture these types of machines, and can, in theory, say make one and run it themselves and kind of take over a network that way. In practice, we haven't really seen that happen. They're more inclined to try to recuperate their costs through selling of the machines rather than some selfish mining scheme. But it is possible, and they have done so to certain coins. Caspa, I remember before their ASIC came out, was a victim kind of this by Bitmain. Also, there was a coin called Bytom a while ago that was similarly uh, positioned. So both methods have their of either doing a CPU mountable coin or ASIC mountable coin have their trade-offs. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answers the
Gotcha.
question.
Yeah, let me jump in about this topic because that's related to my crypto experience for Nencoin and Cheetah Coin. Essentially, I'm in the camp of pro ASIC. So even though if you play with Nencoin, to a degree, Cheetah Coin, you see, it is you can use Android to mine a CPU, but we were in a kind of following the what happens in between argument of Moneros and Bitcoin. But in my attitude is ASIC camp, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, they are the right camp because I'm pro ASIC. Even though our algorithm, our coin, does allow certain, you can use Android phone, just for fun, play with an Ncoin. Earlier cases, a year ago, you can play with the Cheetah coin, you mine one block because we have special difficult argument. But in the end, what really matters is the security. Like you have a security of a protect the decentralization, protect the chain, and the protection of ASIC makes sense because that's that's a fact. Look at the biggest coin is Bitcoin. Litecoin is huge. Dogecoin is huge, right? So it's just the CPU doesn't really fly that much. What is the biggest coin of CPU? Monero. Why? You can't really. I mean, I'm not going to dismiss Monero. Just you cannot be compared to Bitcoin, Litecoin, right? I'm just in the camp of a pro ASIC, sort of a pro proof of coin, because I came from non-coin cheetah coin, but that's it. But we do allow, we do our coin, we do allow Android phone to play, play fun for it. That's entertainment. I'm kind of a pro Dogecoin entertainment part, sort of a less serious kind of a camp, right? So I'm just saying, putting this camp is that if you look carefully, yes, ASIC is reasonable. It is good argument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's which actors are you concerned about compromising the network? And in the cases of most altcoins, it's really going to be a hacker type, looking for self profit rather than a large corporation who builds ASIC mining machines, to compromise your coin. So like if your worry is that some big company is going to come in and swoop in and try to crash your project, and CPU might make more sense. But even in the case of Monero, they've released I guess it is inappropriate to call it an ASIC, but a specialized CPU rig that for all intents and purposes is like a plug and play ASIC as well. So it's even though that it might be better, positioned to have everyone mining to prevent some large entity from taking over. In practice, the real threats out there are, less well funded individuals trying to make a profit for themselves, and in that sense, ASICs do end up being better.
Awesome. Very cool, man. Yeah, so let's start taking. It's getting late, so let's start taking some Q&A, and some people. Let's have some people come up here and tell us about your experience with Pirate Chain so far. Tell us why you love it. Tell us why you think it has potential for mainstream adoption. Tell us why you favor it. If you have a story that brought you into Pirate, please share it. I would love for you guys to come up and please give us your honest opinion. Even if you don't like Pirate, tell us why you don't like Pirate. If you want to start taking some hands, I know there's no hands here. Maybe just open your mic and start talking. Whoever talks first.
Well, the name is definitely the best, hands down. Pirate, freedom. You are your own boss. Pirates are their own boss. And the blockchain. So, Pirate Chain is its own blockchain. It's not a token, doesn't rely on other chains. And it's totally private and very fast. And I did get into it because of Berwick, but it's only been a fun ride from then on. So. Oh, and the ticker R. Whoever thought of the name was either having some fun or put a lot of work into it. So it's good.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm in Pirate Chain. I came up from Pirate Chain a different route than most of you guys did. I'm not a real tech savvy. I'm having to learn crash course, but I come up from the fighting the evil of the world, the tyranny of the world. That's where I came up. I ran into John McAfee. He started was saying stuff about mining and stuff, and it was way over my head, but it was back in 2016 or around that area, and that's when I started looking at it. Uh, but the reason I like Pirate Chain is because it is a tool that warriors like me can use against the tyranny system peacefully uh, destroy them. With Pirate Chain, we can use, and we are using, and other technologies as well, but we are using this technology to peacefully kill the system that has enslaved us. And that's the truth. I hate to be bearer of bad news, but that's the truth. And with Pirate Chain, we can have digital cash without losing any of our freedoms. I could call Pablo Escobar up in Colombia and I can say, hey, give me $300 million worth and send him some R. And he gets it automatically. Just me and Pablo know about that transaction. That's valuable. And it's a long ways from America to Colombia, and it goes instantly. How fast is our transactions right now? 1 minute. So
minute.
Pirate Chain is going to be used by us patriots, the people who are fighting for our freedom, to completely detach from their systems, in which us complying and us being inside their system and accepting and trading with their fiat notes and stuff. That's what gives them the power. That's what gives them the power. So we finally me. It's my opinion though. It's just me. That's just my opinion, but finally, for the first time, mankind has the ability to say, you know what, we don't need to participate in your system. It doesn't benefit us. It hasn't benefit us. It's we got history to prove it. We're just going to use this system right here that benefits us. And then when Komodo, think Thank goodness for Komodo. I'm so thankful for Komodo. You have no idea. It was like a fresh of breath air when Komodo decided to pursue the DEX, because Pirate Chain has to have Komodo a DEX for us to exist. And I live and breathe Pirate Chain. I fight for it all day long on the front lines of this war of privacy. Anybody who
Nice,
knows me knows that I'm telling the truth, and that's
nice,
why I
bro.
love Pirate Chain.
Anybody else want to come up? We're getting towards the end here. Please come up and tell us why you love pirate. What got you into it? Just open up your mic and
Oh,
start talking.
yeah, I guess I could, say something because I was actually the person who suggested to JL777 to create AC Private. A lot of people might not know this is that the original first private chain, which was for a private blockchain that was going to be used for a barter network in Pittsburgh called Green Apple Barter, and then unfortunately they went with a centralized solution instead, and then AC Private kind of fell by the wayside, and then a Komodo community member by the name of Jorian spun up Pirate, and it kind of took a life of its own. After which was very good, and it's brought everyone here today. Um, so yeah, one of the original pirates been around. Its ability to give financial freedom and privacy to people is unparalleled compared to other chains. The only drawback really is just the fighting against the noise out there, right? You got people claiming certain technologies like Minerva's ring signatures or others as more private, but even the most cursory examination shows that it's nowhere near what Pyre provides. And with Komodo's decks, it provides a way of doing really truly private exchanges that's not found in other systems. A lot of these other so-called dexes, not only do they operate in a custodial manner, even though they claim not to. They use threshold signature schemes, which can allow a collusion of signers to actually take your coins, but they also do the actual trade itself on a transparent blockchain, such as in the case of Thorchain or in Maya. So
Or Zcash that
where
just got
our
added to ThorSwap.
what?
Zcash just got added to ThorSwap. It's not private on ThorSwap.
No, it's not. Yeah, and you can clearly see what is happening, in the exact trade. Where with the Pirates implementation in our atomic swap scheme, it only uses one-time addresses, so there's no actual linkage of coins between, one and between the counterparties. Everything gets settled back into a private address. Um, so yeah, that's kind of highlights, some well my background with pirate and why I like pirates and its use within our decks. It allows a degree of financial freedom that really isn't seen anywhere else in crypto.
Awesome, brother. And real quick, guys, I've been here a long, long time. I had my own radio show at some point. I interviewed over 100 coins back in the day, all different types of coins, just so I could learn. I actually did the interviews just so I could learn about each coin. And and at the end, I ended up in pirate. So that tells you a lot. Like I was looking for the a great technology, and I ended up in pirate. Right? And I still think pirate is the best, and it's our only hope left. Anybody else want to come up? Just open up your mic. Tell us why you love pirate. Why you think it's a necessity.
Is Oswald in here?
Unfortunately, he got kicked for putting a link in the chat. So he said he'll catch the replay. It would have been good to hear from him.
Yeah, we got to work on something with the bots. It's just unfortunate we get a lot of spam in Komodo's social channels. You know, it's kind of curious, especially since we're not really a huge project. But yeah, we'll have to unblock him.
Uh, any other fans of Pirate come up and speak, or forever hold your peace?
Kevin,
Kevin, oh yeah, Kevin James has been around a while, bro. Come up, Kev. He's one of the best supporters. He's always there. He's probably trying to scramble for his bike. He's like, oh, I didn't know this was gonna happen. All right. No, I'm not forcing anybody, but we are gonna have more shows with Pirate in it. Hopefully next time, Forge and Daniel could make it, so they could give us their 2 cents. Forge is building some incredible stuff. Oswald is building some incredible stuff. It would have been great to hear from him too. Uh, but if you guys aren't keeping track, keep track of the technology. Okay, don't listen to people out there saying, "Oh, this is gonna pump like 100x." Like that doesn't that doesn't mean anything, right? Listen to the technology. Where is the technology going? How will it give you power? Because if the coin does not give you power, it's a useless technology. It's useless. And technically, the only thing those transparent coins are helping are corporations and not your family, right? Not your personal privacy, the personal freedoms, right? All those technologies out there are made to take your freedom, the freedom away from you. That's why everything is traced and tracked. It's way better than cash for them, not for you. Hi,
you
brother.
know what I do? Look. Oh, so
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead,
go.
Paulie. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna put in a final word at the end, so go ahead first.
No, I was just going to say, I look at all crypto projects as cars, and what I do is I raise the hood up and I look at the technology and see what it offers. I don't go by hype. I don't go by any news. I don't go by any of that. I always go straight to the technology and see what it actually does it benefit and how does it benefit the human.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys.
All right.
Holly.
Thank you for attending, everyone. Next week we'll have another new chain. I believe it's spaced out, but correct me if I'm wrong, Loops.
I
Uh,
think Chips. I think Chips is next week. Blur.
oh, Chips this
Yeah.
week, then Space Dow, and then we have Dash also coming following week, and we will be bringing guests on whenever we can get them to speak and to help educate people about crypto in general, as well as go over our weekly updates. Keep tuned for the Pirate implementation in the web app. That should be coming out soon. It's been taking a little bit longer than expected, but work is well underway. We're under final testing now. So keep an eye out for that, as well as our trading competition that is coming. Um, help spread the word about that once we post all the rules and get everything created for that. We'll keep you updated with everything that's going on, and have a nice weekend, everyone.